WETA-TV, Washington DC, 26. This WETA message is brought to you in part by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. This is the WETA Washington DC morning news. The most double mysteries in the morning is called from a train murder. Good morning, everybody. I'm Randy Williams.
I'm Sarah Underwood in for Kim.
Now, the WETA Washington DC news at 5. Good afternoon, everybody. We get from the top stories at the beginning of 5. This WETA Washington DC message is brought to you by Sleepy's. It's 10 o'clock. Do you want to put your children to bed? The WETA Washington DC news at 10 begins right now. And now, the WETA Washington DC news at 11. A toddler beginning with a bubble from the train as soon as it rode the subway fell into the pit of doom. All the passengers got off the train and made it to subway just minutes before the train fell to the pit of doom. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Martin Luther. Arthur Williams is off tonight. Tonight we begin. And now, the WETA Washington DC morning news. Welcome back. We get to like you for this morning. We had to like you. We had to going on today. Now, the WETA Washington DC news at 10. And good evening. The WETA news at 11. Now, live from Studio 85. This is a WETA UK special, Outnumbered. New this morning, we begin. A train crashes into a car in just a big accident in just the time. 3 students threw up in the middle of high school and began the fire alarm to ring. A crash in a race tonight, a local discoveries in the morning. A very violent morning in the city of Washington, D.C. A house covered with oil, and it crashes down to the ground. The morning news starts right now. Now, the WETA morning news. WETA News and News begins now. First at 4. This is the WETA Washington DC news. Live at 6. The WETA news begins now. And now, the program of WETA news begins with breaking news. Now, this is a WETA Face the State special. WETA 26 news this morning begins now. It's 10 p.m. Do you want to bring your children back to bed? This WETA 26 Family First message is brought to you in part by Sleepy's, the mattress professionals. WETA 26 news at 10 begins now. And now, beginning with breaking news. WETA's 26 news at 10 begins now. And now, the WETA Washington DC news at 11 begins now. Live from WETA 26 Washington DC and public television, bringing you more local PBS. Now, the morning news. Live from WETA Washington DC and Connecticut Public, bringing you more PBS. Now, the news at noon. Live from WETA Washington DC and WETA Kids, bringing you more local PBS. Now, the news at 4. Live from the center of WETA DT2 and the CW25, bringing you more PBS. Now, the news at 8. Right now on the news at 8 on CW20. Live from WETA Washington DC, and CW, bringing you more local coverage. Now, the news at 9. Live from WETA, WETA Washington DC, and public television, bringing you more local PBS. Now, the news at 11. Live from the Jorgensen Center from WETA in the Washington DC, WETA Washington DC, Yukon, and American Public Television bring you the U.S. Senate debate from 2009. And good evening, I'm Arthur Williams from WETA, and tonight we are presenting the Luther King team from Linda Williams, and the Martin Luther team from Arthur Parker, from the PBS Washington DC studios. Now, WETA Washington DC Morning News. Good morning, you're watching the WETA Morning News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Arthur Williams. I'm Victor Lowell. We have much more today. We have lots going on this morning. Now, WETA News at 11 a.m. Beginning now on the WETA News at 11 a.m. from WETA Washington DC. WETA News at 10. We're going to work on a developing story right now at 10 tonight from Washington DC. Now, WETA News at 11. Live. News 26, Good Morning Washington, begins now. And good morning to you. It is past 6 a.m. Thank you for joining us. I'm Live. News 26 at noon starts now. Good afternoon. John is off tonight. I will be here for Arthur Williams. And I'm Al Jordan as I'm joining the live. News 26 at 5 starts now. Live. You are watching News 26 at 6. Live. News 26 at 9 starts now on My TV 9. Live. This is News 26 at 10. Beginning and developing at 10 at live. News 26 at 11 starts now. Live. WETA's Good Morning Washington starts now on News 26. And good morning to you. Live. News 26 at 5 starts now. Good evening to you. Live. News 26 at 6 starts now. Live. News 26 at 6 continues right now. Live. This is News 26 at 9 on My CB9. Live. This is News 26 at 10. It's 11 p.m. Do you want to take your children home? This WETA Expect More Hope message is brought to you by your Washington, D.C. Honda cars. Live. News 26 at 11 starts now. Now, live. This is Good Morning Washington on WETA News. Now, live. WETA News 26 at noon starts now. Right now, live. This is WETA News 26 at 5. Live. WETA News 26 at 10 starts now. And good evening. Tonight we are honoring the memory of our dear friend, Arthur Williams. Good evening and thanks for joining. Thank you for making WETA Writers Contest.